All right, we got 2 more things left to do here. So number 1, futures time. Let's look at division by division NL style today, starting with the National League Central. We need picks, playoff picks, and then a Wednesday, tomorrow, when Frazier's back, we'll do our playoff predictions, maybe some player predictions as well. NL Central, Cardinals, pretty heavily favored. 125. Otherwise, everyone else plus. Milwaukee, 160. Chicago, 600. Pittsburgh, 4,000. Cincinnati, 6,600. I actually think that's surprising, the last 2 there. I would flip that. But anyway, minus 125, St. Louis. Let's go down the line. Who you got, Kratzy, in the National League Central?
I got St. Louis. I mean, even talking to Helsley, I feel like he's primed. It's definitely my kicker. No, I mean, I think St. Louis is going to, throughout the long season, is going to do it. I'll be a little Scotty Braun here. If the Brewers were plus 250, I might have picked the Brewers just to make a little extra cash. But 160, I don't feel like it's worth it. I feel like St. Louis is the team. And Chicago at 600? I might get a little $50 piece on Chicago at 600. I don't hate because I can't just keep picking at whoever was in the playoffs last year. I had Claudia looking it up. I don't know when the last time that all the exact same teams from the National League all made the playoffs in back-to-back years. So somebody's not going to. So something has to change, and I feel like the Central is the place.
I got the Cardinals. I argued with you guys about the Cardinals and their rotation. We had Katie Wu on. We had Ryan Helsley on. I just don't see – there's too many ways they make the playoffs versus too many ways of them – or not enough ways of them not making the playoffs. It's easy. They have the best lineup. They have the best bullpen for me. They have a strong starting rotation, but not the best one in the Central. Okay? But unless – disaster happens. You lose Arenado, you lose Goldschmidt, you lose Contreras, you lose Nootbaar, you lose O'Neill, you lose everybody on their team. I just don't know how they don't win this division.
Yep, clean sweep. I got the Cardinals. And part of it, like Kratzy said, is for money purposes, I'm not tempted enough by the plus 160 on Milwaukee. That's not getting me excited.
Plus a little bit of, I think, and also in my mind, is just a complete collapse Milwaukee had last year. And they really didn't bring in anybody to...
They've got some good young hitting prospects.
But they're young.
Yeah. Sal
Frelick was supposed to be a good young
Bryce
hitting prospect, and they told him to hit the bricks.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that happens.
It does, but you just never know.
No, I'm with you.
Their suspects are still prospects.
Yes, I think the Brewers are, in my mind, a clear-cut number 2 in the league. I do. But, I can't go against St. Louis either. So I'm with you. Clean sweep. Next, National League East. Atlanta plus 110. The Mets are at plus 170 to win this division. Philly's at plus 300. See, that's the number that starts to get interesting for me. That's why I picked the Mariners at that number yesterday. Miami plus 4,000. And Washington, heavy liability on Vegas. That's the biggest liability for MGM's odds here, is the Washington Nationals at plus 25,000. I'll start. Braves for me. They win the division every year. I still think consistently between what they have on offense, which is plenty, what they have in their pitching staff, even if it has its holes. There's been years where we've looked at their bullpen, we've looked at their starting rotation, we've picked at it. They've still won the division. They've got young players that are going to get better. Michael Harris, another year of him in center field, significantly helps their run prevention. Grissom comes up eventually. Riley's a stud. Albies is back. Acuna's back, and I say that because, he played a good chunk of last year, but he was hurt. His knee was messed up. I think he'll be much better this year. So I'm good with Atlanta. Yeah, they're weathering some injuries already early on, Raisel Iglesias, but Atlanta to win this division for me, I'm not saying easy, but I do think they win the division by, let's say, 3 games. What do you got?
I'm going to steal Kratz's thunder because he's going to pick Philadelphia. And that's the one on that betting list that I like, the plus 300. I think they made some really good moves with some bullpen guys, bringing in Kimbrel. Gregory Soto from Detroit is a huge help at the back end of their bullpen. And let's not forget, this team went to the World Series last year and lost in 6 games. So they know how to win in big moments, and they have Robbie Thompson for a full year. I don't know. In my heart of hearts, I don't know that they can do it. But if I look at that list, that's the team that stands out and says, man, if I'm going to put $100 down, Philadelphia is the team for me, just because I think they're due to win the division.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you did steal my thunder. I have Philly. That plus 300 on Philly is so hard for me to not choose. Like, it almost feels, especially when you talk about having Topper, we talk about Tito Francona in the Central. These teams in the East are really good. There is no denying, even down to the Marlins pitching staff, they are really good. And you need a lineup to get through the East that is out there every day. On the field, yes, Rhys Hoskins was out there every day, and losing him is going to be a big hurt, but the majority of the good pitching will be right-handed as far as starters, so they're going to give Derek Hall a shot as a left-handed hitter there. But the team has to have a lineup that is suffocating. We used that with Helsley earlier, and I think the Phillies are that team. And the guys who maybe you wouldn't think are suffocating in a lineup, like a Stott, like a Marsh, maybe even sometimes like a Bohm, they can all still hurt you in different ways. They've learned to win. And I'm a big, big fan of, hey, who won last? And they're going to keep doing it. Like, you got it. Like, you're the Braves. I get it. You have a solid core. You re-signed everybody. Everybody's on an extension there. Like, I think even AJ got an extension from the Braves, and, he hasn't played for him in 6 years. But you're sitting here going, man, this team is just – the lineup is so deep, and they're always out there. They're not like a platoon lineup. So who you got is who's going to go out and get it. So I love the Phillies at plus 300.
For the record, for me, I'm not touching this division with my money. There's just too much going on.
You're giving it to me to touch.
Yeah, you guys can have fun. There's other divisions I feel much more comfortable with. I'm not touching it. I feel, Atlanta's the safe choice. I don't think anyone that says Mets is off the mark with what they have, especially at the top of their rotation. And then, yeah, with Philly, I like it. I'm tempted. For me, Kratzy, it's just even early on here, you could have the World Series hangover. You have two guys that you relied on heavily in your rotation that you'll do again that pitch deep into October in Wheeler and Nola. Sometimes that doesn't go well. Of course, love the Trey addition and some of the bullpen ads, but no Harper for half the season. Hoskins is now out for the whole year. So not a knock as much as I just don't feel comfortable about anyone.
Castellanos will have a better year.
Agreed.
And
Castellanos will have a better year.
Were better. They were really good without Harper last year.
They were really good?
Yes.
Really good.
Really good without Harper last year.
Okay.
Like, that was near the time when Topper took over, and they kept it going. And there's something to do with that. There's something.
They were like
Topper.
25-10 or something without Harper. I don't know.
It was Rob Thompson. Rob Thompson. He's got it. He's got the it factor.
That's fine.
No, that was a thing, though. Hey, the way Joe was running things was not working for the ball club. No. That was obvious. It's true. You ask the guys there. They didn't feel themselves. They didn't feel comfortable. It was a little too tight in the clubhouse. And it went the complete opposite direction with a guy who had already been there. Kratzy, am I wrong?
I saw both managers, and I could not be more like in the corner of Joe Girardi when he was there till the day he got fired. Like, I didn't think it was Joe, but Topper showed that Topper could do it better. And I even asked Topper, what do you feel like it is? And his thing is really just about, like, Joe had an open door policy. Like, come in and talk to me. And he lived it. He lived that open door policy. Maybe he didn't go out the door as much as he wanted guys to come in the door. And I think Topper, he hit on that. And he hit on those relationships that it worked out, that it really it worked well for the guys that they had in there. And I think there's something there. And it's not a knock at all against Joe. It's more of a praise of Topper.
Lastly, the NL West. We have the Los Angeles Dodgers at minus 120, Padres plus 115, Giants plus 1,200, Diamondbacks are at plus 4,000, and the Colorado Rockies are at plus 15,000. But I warn you that even their owner only thinks about 500 for that ball club. So you're really going for it if you think the Rockies are going to win. If you think they're going to outperform the expectations of an owner who always over-delivers in his speeches about the team. Or over-promises, under-delivers. There we go. Kratz, you start. Who's winning the NL West? Where are you putting money down?
Padres. I mean,
Nice.
I really didn't even look at the numbers. I didn't look at the plus 115. To me, that doesn't. I just think the Padres, they made the moves and they did what they did last year and knocked the Dodgers off. Whether you think it was lucky or not, they knocked the Dodgers off in the playoffs. And I think they got better with Xander. I think they got better because they still have Juan Soto, who wasn't that great for him last year. So it's like they picked up another superstar because I don't think he's going to do what he did last year. And I just think there's too much, even with Musgrove, not getting his reps. That lineup might be better than the Phillies lineup. I mean, I don't know that, it kind of swings on the whole who's better, Jake Cronenworth and down there, but they got Tatis coming back 20 games in. Like, that's a lineup.
Why are the Dodgers favored then? Who do you have?
A lot of questions for me at the Padres. I know they beat the Dodgers in the playoffs last year. What's Tatis going to be when he comes back?
Does it matter?
It does matter because he is a huge distraction for that team. If he comes back and is not good, that's going to be a problem because he's going to cause ripples in that clubhouse with Manny and Soto and some of the other guys, because you already heard a little bit of it kind of behind the scenes that, what are we doing with this guy after he breaks his wrist, he gets the steroids, he can't come back. There's all these things that are everywhere. He was kind of becoming the face of Major League Baseball. And then he had all these things that were just kind of, I don't want to call them, what the right word is, dumb. They're just dumb stuff that he did. And so what's he going to be when he comes back? He's playing right field, and if you watch him in spring training, he hasn't been very good at right field. So that is a problem. And the Dodgers, gosh, I just can't. It's like the Astros. Until somebody shows me they can beat the Dodgers, that's why they're favored. Because they're the Dodgers, and they have more money than anybody, and they go out and get them, and that's why they're minus 120. And I'm all about the Padres and the fun they had and everything that happened. But I cannot go against the Dodgers just because they're the Dodgers. And until someone shows me, like you with the Mariners and me with the Astros, like until someone shows me they can take them out, I'm still going Dodgers. And I love Freddie Freeman. I love Mookie Betts.
Giants won the division a couple of years ago, so it's not like they haven't been taken down in a while.
Yeah. Well, what happened with the Giants last year?
Yeah, they went back down. I'm not saying the Giants are the team. I'm just with Kratzy on this one. I like the Padres, and I like them even more when it's plus money.
Who's the Padres' first baseman?
Why does it matter?
Who's the Padres' catcher?
Nola.
Okay.
Why does that matter?
Center fielder Grisham. He had 180 last year.
You want to go through the lineup right now?
I'm just
really
throwing names out there, asking. No, these guys are good players. Grisham did it in the playoffs last year, so Nola had a good playoff postseason. Got a hit off his brother. I'm trying to come up,
they have the advantage.
Come up with a way that I can think the Padres are going to win.
They have the advantage at catcher. Will Smith, I will take.
First base.
All right, so Cronenworth
over Maximus.
But you have Freddie Freeman. You have a problem with Cronenworth for the Padres?
First?
Right now, depth chart, Nola catcher, like we said. Cronenworth first. Ha-Seong Kim second. Shortstops, Xander Bogaerts. He's pretty good. That was a good signing. Manny Machado. Ever heard of him?
Maybe.
Juan Soto in left. Yes, Grisham's in center, but it's not all his. There will be guys behind him. They still have. I mean, they've lost a lot in their farm system, but there's still a little bit of depth there. They got the guy.
You're trying to sell me on it, but
Tatis.
I'm still taking the Dodgers.
Nelson Cruz for a little DH. Nelson Cruz and Matt Carpenter. It's a combo. That's a combo right there. Anyway, yes, I think the lineup's fine. I think the heart of the lineup is ridiculous. And then from a pitching perspective, Joe Musgrove, Yu Darvish.
Musgrove's missing how long? At least a month, right?
I don't think it's that much even.
I don't think it's that much.
Non-throwing hand, right?
No, toe. He broke his toe. Dropped a weight on his toe, didn't he?
Non-throwing toe?
Definitely a non-throwing toe.
Waka, Lugo, Nick Martinez. I know you don't love Snell, I'm guessing. But
I like Snell.
Oh, good. I do too.
Snell's a 5 and dive guy.
Okay, well, you can handle that sometimes if it's a good 5. He's inconsistent.
Hater,
but
what's Hater going to give? Good Hater, bad Hater?
Who on the Dodgers
No,
is not a
Hader's
5
gonna
and
be
dime
great.
guy? Urias had like 20 wins with like 140 innings.
Walker Buehler?
He's not
It's
even starting
Kershaw,
the season.
Urias,
joking.
Dustin May, Syndergaard, Gonsolin's hurt, right? And they're looking at the 5th spot with like Pepio, Bobby Miller, Walker Buehler's obviously on the shelf for them. It's not like
they'll go out and get somebody. I'm still taking the Dodgers. Why? Because they're the Dodgers. And they have more money
that's
than
fine.
anybody.
I
They'll
just
go out
think
and spend it. And they have more depth than anybody.
It's going to be awesome.
yeah, it's going to be great. But when you're
It's
trying
gonna
to
be
go
awesome.
position by position through the Padres versus the Dodgers, like let's look at the lineup comparisons. They're pretty. I would give the edge to the Padres this year in the lineup comparison.
I think the
Smith,
two studs.
Freeman, Vargas, Muncy. Like I like it. Taylor, outfield's a little weak. Besides Betts, obviously.
I mean,
it's good.
Betts and Freeman, like on the same team, like, oof. It's
I think
tough,
they can both win 100 games, both those teams. I'm not knocking either side. I'm just
when the Giants and Dodgers both won over 100 games.
I could see that.
I mean,
I
we're doing
don't
wild
think
cards,
they're both going to win 100.
One of the two is a wild card for sure.
Right. I agree. So let's do that. What's your wild card picks?
So the other two are in the East. The other two teams in the East. Braves and Mets. Braves, Mets, and Dodgers or Padres.
Okay.
If I'm taking Philly to win, there's going to be 3 East teams. It's going to be the same teams that were in last year.
That's why I need a different one.
Yeah.
That's why
so
I'm not
give us
saying
something different, Kratzy.
I don't believe it. I couldn't convince myself. I have the same. I have the Mets, the Dodgers, and the Braves. I have the Mets as they're going to win. They're going to be the top. They're going to be a top wild card by like 1 game over the Dodgers. It's going to be neck and neck. And then I have the Braves. But that is such a crapshoot. But it's all the same teams. And I just feel like who is going to be that team? Is it the Cubs? Is it, are you putting $10 down on the Giants to make the playoffs? I don't know.
Mets, Dodgers, Phillies for me because I didn't have Phillies win the division like Kratzy. But we
6.
all have the same teams. I was like trying to convince myself to go Milwaukee, but I'm really only looking at Milwaukee in the division.
Kratz, can you answer that phone, please?
Yeah, who's pissed off?
Brutal. That's so
who
brutal.
has a home
phone
line?
on mute, and then one of my kids hit the phone. Like, who has a home phone? We don't even use the home phone. We have it.
Really needs to get a hold of you.
Security reasons. We have security, like a security system that's on the landline. So I'm so heated. I'm heated under the collar right now again.